Hey everyone, so we're switching up the format a little bit. Recently, we reached out to Reddit and we asked if you might want to be a guest on the show. We were shocked at the number of responses we got. Amazing stories. I was so hard to pick, but we did pick our first guest, but now we're looking for our next guest and we're scheduling out. So if you think that might be you or someone you know, please hit us up in the comments on the YouTube or reach out to us on Reddit.
And without further ado, we introduce Little Miss Dill.
Whatever.
All right, today we're joined by Miranda, a Texas native who works in the medical field. Over the last few years, she's faced a series of difficult challenges that forced her to stop, reflect, and reevaluate both her path in life and her sense of self.
Yeah, so she began creating content online under the name Little Miss Dill. She's pretty recognizable by her signature pickle costume, but behind the playful character is a much deeper story. And through her content, she shares various lessons, all while documenting her journey towards self-love and personal growth.
So we're really honored that she decided to join us today to share her story, the lessons she's learned along the way, and how she's turning life's setbacks into something that inspires others. So welcome, Miranda.
Oh,
Welcome.
thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
We're excited to
pleasure.
have you.
Yeah, I'm excited, but I'm a little nervous
And that's
because I don't
okay.
do a lot of these. So,
Yeah, that's fine. We're pretty laid back. Like typically we just shoot the breeze. So that's what
Yep.
we're going to do here
love
with
it.
you.
Love
So
it.
to start, how about you just tell us about Little Miss Dill? I almost did it.
Little
Little
Miss
Miss
Dill.
Dill.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you a little bit about Miranda first. I'm 37, and I basically grew up in like a normal household. My parents are divorced. Like, I have a younger sister. And yeah, I basically went to high school, went to college, got my degree. I've been a nurse for 13 years, and Little Miss Dill was a surprise to me, like everybody else, I feel like. Yeah. So Little Miss Dill, she's my inner child that I'm learning through counseling and therapy right now. Um, Basically, like last year, I had a lot of things. Life happened. I had life that happened. I never expected to do anything else but nursing. But I ended up in a situation like a toxic like cycle of a relationship that happened, and then I ended up getting scammed, and then I ended up raising safety concerns at work that caused me to walk away and to get counseling. So that's like my story in a nutshell, basically.
And you said
So
this
do
was
you
all
want
within
to,
a year and a half?
yeah, you want to
So
unpack that a little bit?
it's a lot. I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's a lot. Like, because I was trying to figure out how I was gonna like present it, but then I was like, well, there's layers to it. like, but it all started with like the cycle of the relationship that I was in. But Little Miss Still, because I didn't get counseling, you guys, until like the end of like the whole cycle. Like whenever I started raising safety concerns at work, like the third thing, it was like three whammies, and then I was out. I was like, I need to get help. So that's when, but Little Miss Dill was created in the middle of all that. So basically, Little Miss Dill was created through a pickleball game. We ended up, yeah. So everybody thinks it's the love of pickles, but it's like which I mean, pickles aren't bad. Like I like pickles too, but no, like we ended up just having fun and like dressing up for Halloween. And I was really depressed at the time. I just went through a heartbreak, and that was the only thing giving me joy was dressing up as a pickle. So, but I mean, we all ended up wearing costumes, but nobody wanted to be the pickle. But I mean, I get it. The irony is not
Nobody
all.
wanted to be the pickle.
No, I
So you
mean,
got stuck with the pickle costume?
well, I'm the one who wanted to be. I mean, like, duh, we're at a pickleball game. And I was like, the irony is not on, like, lost on me. I look like a walking STI infection. I get it. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to make it a cute pickle. So I put a bow and some glasses. So everybody loved
Nice.
it. Yeah, everybody loved it. And like, but I didn't realize this at the time, but she had a bigger meaning than what I thought of, than just dressing up in a costume. Like there was more to her than that. So
So is there's just a side of Miranda that comes out in the pickle that
it's,
this side doesn't?
yeah, no, she's me. She's just like my inner child basically coming out because through therapy, like my counseling, like I started to work on inner child therapy. And part of that therapy is through experiencing or just having fun. A part of inner child therapy is just having fun with yourself and like experiencing that joy and that happiness that you did as a child, and that's part of it. And I feel like a lot of people these days, like we get so invested in like, our work lives and like other things, we forget to have fun,
We
like,
talk about that all the time. Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a
So
little. I have the benefit of having two boys that I've got get to watch grow up and see that inner child, and so sometimes that'll come out with me. I'll be like, all right, I'll look at some Pokemon with you. I'll jump on the trampoline, stuff like
that's
that. And so I
awesome.
I think that's probably part of like our
Yeah.
just the way our biology too. So
Yeah.
having kids for me was what kept me young at heart but gray in age.
Well, so I have a similar kind of, I think, trajectory as you, is just so far as like um life kind of beating me down, and it beats you down until you get to the point where, at least for me anyways, I don't want to face the reality until I have like basically am put in a submission hold by life, and then at that point you're kind of forced to be like, all right, I give up. What do I have to do to like feel better, right? So that
Yeah.
sounds like what you're describing kind of happened to you with work. But that, so I want to back up a little bit and
Hmm.
kind of go piece by piece to kind of figure out, like, if you're comfortable,
Yeah.
like what got you to that point where you kind of gave up and kind of submitted to your inner child and did what you had to do. So it sounds like from what you're saying, it was relationship was kind of step one, and then problems at work kind of followed, and then that was kind of the thing that brought things to a head. Is that right?
Yeah, basically. Like I had grown up, like I was always like the runner in relationships, and I never had faced the issue why. So
What do
I
you mean by that?
so my first real relationship when it came to guys, like I wasn't in a relationship until I was like 29 was my first real relationship.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I was always the runner. I would date a guy for like 1 or 2 months and then just be like, no, like, I don't know if it was because I felt like I was going to be trapped in the
Oh, I
relationship,
see. So you
like that kind of,
bailed. Got it.
yeah.
Okay.
but I told them face to face, like with those, but anyways, that's another story. But yeah, like my first relationship was not until I was 29. And then it was a 2 year relationship. I was just settling basically. And because I was hitting 30, I was like, okay, well, I have my career. Like, next step is like marriage, kids. But no, you don't have to settle. But that's my mindset. Like, I was like, okay, I need to do this. But yeah. So after that relationship ended, I ended up being single for 5 years after that because it really hit me. I was just like, what's wrong with me? Because that guy ended up breaking up with me, but I was settling and I kind of felt bad for him in a way but then
He knew.
also like,
I'm sure he knew
Hmm.
you weren't
yeah,
invested, so that can erode whatever is on his side of things.
yeah. So it wasn't fair to him either. So it taught me a lot, but I had to do a lot of like, I always struggled with like confidence issue, weight issues, and I just needed to focus on myself. But 5 years was a little bit too long, like a really long time. But like, I just needed to feel comfortable with me. But it
So
was
that's
mainly,
5 years to now.
Was
no,
that
well, that was 5 years until I was 36. Yeah, well, 31, 36. I'm 37 now. So it took me a while to get back out there in the dating world.
Hmm.
was that the one that kind of pushed you kind of into your dark place, or was that the one that followed that?
and then the next relationship. So I've only been in two. So that
Okay.
was the first one when I was 29. And then the second one was this past year. Yeah, like I wasn't even looking for anything, honestly. And I was planning my sister's wedding, and he just kind of I ended up meeting him at a coffee shop, well, Facebook dating app, and then we met at a coffee shop and we just hit it off. Like I've never felt like that attraction towards somebody before, that spark. But again, this was only my second relationship. So but because I was always the runner. And then with this one, he was an entrepreneur and trying to start up his business. And that excited me. You know what I mean? Like that passion, that drive. And that I think that's what ultimately attracted me to him. And then we just started dating, and I was honest with him about my experience with the first relationship. And he basically was just a cycle of a relationship. He ended up coming and going anytime he wanted, and
Mm.
he would always break up with me through a text message, not to my face, through a text message. And he gaslit me, told me I was going to be his wife, took me to church. I was really manipulated. And I kept making excuses for him.
So
Well,
did
as
he
So,
it
lead
being
you to
your,
believe? Sorry, go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
I was gonna say, as your second relationship, it's like hard to really kind of recognize some of that stuff, and so
oh, thank you,
I
Mark.
think. Say again.
Thank you.
Oh, of
Because
course, yeah. No, I could totally, understand what you're saying and going through, and so it's not like something that should have been caught so easily.
But to that point, also from what you're describing right now, you sound like you've reflected a lot, even just on your two relationships. You've learned a ton. So
yeah.
third time's gonna be a charm. I'm feeling it.
Oh God, I hope so. Well, yeah, I mean, at least I know I can open up to somebody. So that was the good thing that happened through this, you know, but it really played it really played a toll on my self-worth. Like after he finally, because before the final breakup, I told him, I was like, this is it. I was just like, I can't do the back and forth thing, like the chaos thing. Cause I worked in the NICU. My job was already stressful.
Mm.
And then I was dealing with this, like, it was just crazy. And for my birthday, the final straw was we were supposed to go to Disneyland for my birthday. And I'm a kid at heart. I mean, I like to joke and like I like to be silly. Probably should take life a little bit more seriously, but I
No, it's the
don't.
best way to be.
But like that's me though. Like, you know, yeah. And I even bought the ears and everything. And he did what he always did. I came home from work, he told me he missed me. We FaceTimed, and then I got excited when I was talking about the trip, and he got off the phone with me and he was like, I can't do this. Like you're stressing me out. You can do what you want. I'm going to focus on my career. And that was it.
I'll be
Done.
Holy
honest,
cow.
this guy sounds like a huge piece of shit. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
like, I
exactly.
can't imagine, like, from what you're describing,
Yeah.
like, I know it was your second relationship, but the fact that he was so back and forth with you, and how long was he like that? Like the whole extent of the relationship?
Yeah. So,
Like he just made
okay.
wild promises. It sounds like.
Y'all are gonna I know I'm gonna get it from y'all right now. It's interesting. Interested to hear y'all's perspective on this. Like when we started dating, he's an entrepreneur. You know, you have to work hard to get where you need to be, right? He was living with his parents at the time,
Mm.
living with his parents, and then basically just got out of a 6-year on and off relationship.
In his mid-30s.
He's
Okay,
actually a year older than me.
so he's pushing
Okay.
40. That's not great.
I know all the red flags were there.
I
But
will say, I have a little bit to say about this because I too am an entrepreneur, and my wife we got together when I was still living at home as well. But this, of course, I was in my late-ish 20s, so not quite as bad as that. But I do understand what you're saying, like defending that position of like when you're an entrepreneur, you focus all of your resources on that. And it's
Yeah.
really hard to get something started. So I do
and
understand that.
and Nick, kind of the same idea. Like your guys' stories are more quite a bit aligned, I'd say, into where Nick had like life had beat him down too, and so right, yeah, I mean, and
Yeah, I
so
mean, for sure. Yeah.
and definitely utilized his, whatever resources he could to pick himself back up, and now, thriving, which is awesome. And hopefully this podcast will make us thrive some more. But
Oh yeah.
but yeah, so it's got to be difficult when somebody's in their close to 40s and they don't quite have life figured out that much. As cool as being an entrepreneur is, like,
Yeah.
I can even say, oh yeah, I'm an entrepreneur because I have like an art business, and I'm like, but that's just more for hobby. But
Yeah.
it sounds good on paper. But I feel like at 40 or close to 40, living with your parents, maybe it's time to try and find a steady job.
Yeah, I'll add to that. You shouldn't feel bad about expecting that, especially at the age that
Yeah.
we're all
Yeah,
getting. Like, it's okay to tell a guy, like, look, you got to be a little bit more serious about life at this point, you know?
Yeah, but the thing about it was, guys, like he had a job, like, and I could tell it was successful. Like
Oh, he was making money.
Oh, okay.
he was a producer,
Oh,
or
okay.
is a producer on a show. And so he had connections, but you build debt, and he was trying, you know what I mean? So I was trying to give him grace with it.
That
And
makes sense.
Yeah, it
yeah,
does make sense.
yeah. So I was trying to be understandable, like, and I was like, I bought a little Superman doll for him, like, like trying to be his cheerleader and stuff. And so I could see the growth and what he was doing and what he was trying to do. And I tried to understand him, where he was coming from and stuff. Cause I was a nurse. Like, I didn't know what it was like to be an entrepreneur, but now I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I'm trying to make content.
I think you have a
So
great
gave him-
start so far. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
hope so.
You gave him too much grace, it sounds like. So it sounds like in the,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
in
You just sound like
retrospect,
such a
and
nice person.
it's easy to like look at what you've told us and kind of
Right.
analyze it in retrospect, but I would say like it at the point where there was a lot of those red flags, but like you said, give him a little bit of grace. But then once those warning signs continually kept popping up, it should have, that's where you're like, all right, like
Yeah.
I'm seeing consistent things that are not great here. Also, plus add to all this stuff that I was trying to ignore in the beginning. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
thank
think that's
God
really
it
going to
only
help you
lasted.
going forward. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank God it only lasted 6 months. Cause I know there's a lot of people that
That's
like,
not long at all. Yeah.
yeah, like it continues to happen. And I would ask I would ask the nurses their love stories on how they met their husbands and stuff like that. And it was interesting. And some of my coworkers were still in their cycles. Like, they were still going back and forth. And I was just like, I didn't understand it at first, but now that I've been through one, now I understand. I'm just like, okay. But
So in
I
a way,
did.
you got lucky.
Yeah, I did. But I chose myself.
That's
And
great. That's great.
yeah, so that was the first time in a long time I had chosen, like, but it was hard. Well, I mean, he broke up with me, but then I could have reached out, I could have called, I could have texted,
Kept
but I
going
didn't.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. And so that led to step one of becoming Little Miss Dill.
Yeah. So she wasn't created quite yet.
So
So,
what was step
Forming.
2?
so like the first month I thought he was going to come back, because it's a cycle, right? They always come back. So I was honestly hoping that he would text me, he would call me. I'm so happy he did not, because I just needed that time to heal. And I just ended up spending time with my family, my friends, just to get my mind off of it, because my birthday was there and we were supposed to take this trip, and
Oh my gosh.
I was heartbroken. And after that first month, I realized he wasn't coming back. And it ended up being like a Netflix and chill relationship, honestly. That's what it was. And I never had sat with my feelings before. So I was running to my parents' house and not like, I didn't want to be in my apartment, because that's where everything was, like all the memories and everything. But I made myself the second month go back and really sit in my feelings. And that sucked. So, yeah. And
like
Almost like
letting
a
things
guy
go.
or a guy not recognizing his emotions until later.
it's different. Yeah.
It's the worst feeling in the world when you are breaking up with someone that you have really strong feelings for. It feels like a part of you is dying, or like you're dying.
Right. But
Yeah.
then I realized through that reflection, like I was just praying to stop crying. Cause like that second month, there was not a day I didn't cry. And then like thought about it and I was like, you know what? Why was I so attracted to this guy? And I figured I was just like the number one thing was that drive, that ambition that he had. That's what I was looking at. That's what I was lacking in my life. Like don't get me wrong, like I was always meant to be a nurse, but then I was like, am I just settling with my career or is there more to it? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that was the first thing I realized that I was missing in myself, that drive and that ambition. And the second thing is like I was so like codependent on him for like that emotional support. Like, and I was like, what happened? Like I used to be the runner and now I'm trying to chase him. Like I'm trying to get him like, I want him back in my life.
It sounds
So,
like you projected all of the things you want or all of your deficiencies onto him,
mhm,
because a lot of time I've been in this same situation as you where the person's kind of remains at a distance or is like not fully committed, and
yeah,
because they're always withdrawing, it kind of allows you to project what you want them to be because you never really fully have them. Like I feel like if you fully had this person and he was fully committed
Yeah,
to
he
you,
was clearly
you would
never fully
begin to
committed.
see, yeah, you would see
uh,
him warts and all, and you would be like, oh, he's kind of beneath me. But because he remained at that kind of like making you feel like you
Chasing
couldn't
distance.
fully, yeah, chasing, when you're in that chasing mentality, you're like, oh, they're so much more valuable, you know.
yeah. But then I had never sat with myself before in my life like I have now because I love my family, but we were so close to where like I lived with my sister for way too long for my adult life. If like, and it was, yeah, like me and my sister are really close, but the majority of my adult life I've lived with her. Or like I travel nurse to Nashville, lived there for like 3 years by myself, or I had my friends, you know what I mean, to go out and do stuff with. So I've never really truly lived on my own before either.
That's important for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So that's why I was depending, and that was the first year I had been by myself.
So
But
you're pretty spiritual, right? You're religious.
I'm kind of learning that I'm both now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting because like I grew up Catholic, but I go back and forth with it because like it's just because you live and learn. There's things in life like some things sit well and some don't, but that has been a staple in my life, my faith. Like I know I do believe in God and like the
Mhm.
higher power and everything, especially after all this, like for sure, because I know he's always like watching over me because that's how I was able to walk away from my job because I'm living off of my retirement plan right now.
Oh,
Okay.
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 So,
Yeah. I feel like that spirituality in those situations where you feel codependent on people can be
yeah,
really helpful to help you be like, I don't need you because I have everything I need inside of me, because I'm connected with something divine. It can kind of
yeah,
like fill that
And
gap. But
having
anyway, yeah.
that mindset, it's like when you know everything's gonna be okay, that you're gonna get to that next step here sooner than later. And
yeah,
there's a lot less stress, I feel like, in my life, as long as I like believe in my faith and that everything's gonna be okay and I'm being kind of looked after, as long as I'm still doing what I have to do. Um,
yeah,
and it's just it's a I don't it sounds bad to say a crutch, but it's like a good crutch. It's just
Well, you need it. It's not a
something to
crutch. It's
lean
like
on. Yeah.
if you ignore it, you're ignoring something that's like it's built into us. I just feel
Yeah,
like
that's
our
better. Well
society
said.
and
Yeah.
lives today are kind of like they benefit from kind of deprogramming that part of us, or be like, oh, your spiritual feelings, that's just nonsense fooey. It's like, no, it's like
Yeah, science fiction or whatever.
we're all born with it. We know it's in there. You just have to
yeah.
embrace it, you know?
The hardest part, you guys, though, when it came to that, is he took me to church,
Mm.
Yeah, you
and
mentioned that.
my coworker actually, before I left work, she was just like, "Are you mad at God?" And he made me question, and I was just like, "Am I?" Like after she told me that, because after like we broke up, it was so hard for me to go back to church. And but after all this, that has been my saving grace. Like it's helping me reconnect. Like
Yeah,
to
a
him.
serpent made it into the Garden of Eden.
So
So
yeah, and I'm going to the same church we used to go to.
Oh,
So
nice. So
Yeah,
this
That's pretty
puts you in
strong.
touch with the church that you are going to.
exactly. Because I was just like, yeah, because he kind of questioned it at the end, but I was just like, no, like I believe in this still. And, but I had to, but I'm glad my coworker said that to me because I was scared to go back. And I was like, because I was just like, why would he let this happen to me? But
Hmm.
you have to go through the pain in order to
You
come out
have to go
on
through
the
it.
other
Yeah.
side.
And some of
So,
us, it sounds like you said earlier that you are a person who likes to have fun and be carefree, which is
yeah.
awesome. But a lot of times, those of us who are like that, we kind of are stubborn learners. So we're forced by pain to confront the things that we need to learn to get to the next part of our life. So as much
Nick
as it
definitely
hurts
knows.
to, I do know about that. So as much as it hurts to go through it and you're like, why am I dying right now? Then afterwards you're like, oh, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be as wise as I am today. So
The funny
Yeah.
thing is that Nick and I grew up together as kids in elementary school, all the way up through high school. Living close to each other, spending nights at our house. We just led different lives. Uh,
Wait, how did y'all end up in Alaska and Washington?
we're
he
both from
left.
Alaska.
He
Oh,
bailed.
okay. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Okay.
We grew up in Alaska together in a small town, and
Oh,
our
yeah.
weekends were spent hanging out with each other. But we kind of did different cliques at school. I was more basketball. He was more
Artsy
social.
fartsy, so talking too
Yeah,
much, not paying
I love
attention.
yeah, getting
that.
in trouble.
Being
Yeah.
bad kid kind of.
And then we
Oh
just
my
meet
God.
again in the weekend.
But I took
Yeah.
the path you don't want to take, and Mark took the path that was like the get a job, have kids, start a
Like
family, the
society
Get
tr-
norm.
divorced.
Oh,
and,
okay.
and then
remarried,
and then remarry. And one time
happy.
Nick had, what did you
Oh.
call it? You were like, your your
I called
current
it.
marriage is what you said one time, and I
I,
was like, oh, it's my final one.
Oh my God.
I made it sound like it was his. It was just the
My
next
next
on the list.
adventure.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But anyways, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so you went through that. You were a
Mhm.
little bit possibly angry at God, but you reconnected with your faith, and then you. It sounds like work was still wearing down on you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Cause before that, like after I wasn't active on social media at all. So like after the pickleball game, like I started like dressing up as Little Miss Dill because like that was the only thing making me happy. So I continued Little Miss Dill and like posting on Instagram. Like I had never really posted that much on social media before in my life. And
So real
so
quick, did the pickleball game? Is this after your this relationship, right?
After the
yes,
relationship.
yes,
Okay,
it
and
was
so it was
after.
Halloween, and you had a pickleball game.
Yeah. And then I had so
Okay.
much fun, I just kept her up. And then somebody said, oh, that would be funny if you posted it online. So I did. And I was hurting so bad, you guys. I was just thinking in my head, okay, well, maybe I can make somebody else laugh. But I was like miserable. So,
Hmm.
like, I just never wanted somebody
Interesting.
to go through that like I was. But everybody has to go through their own like journey and pain. But I was
So was
trying
this
to.
like a
No, you guys.
projection to help others, even
It's
Yeah.
though
like
you
that's
internally were just not
interesting.
feeling?
Yeah, I was ignoring my issues still.
But you were
Hmm.
trying to be a beacon for other people. That's kind of part of it.
Yeah, I was always the overgiver in everything.
Sounds
And
like it.
I always forgot about myself. Like but I would ignore myself too. Yeah, in all aspects of life. Like I was the eldest. Like I always had, like, I didn't always have to, but I grew up helping my mom with my sister. She's the youngest. There's a different dynamic with older ones and younger siblings. But yeah, I was always the helper and I overgave to my friends. I would give like gifts to my friends' kids, and that was all me. They didn't ask for these gifts, but I was just give and give and give, and I just forgot about myself.
It was like your love language. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Did you have did you have separate? You
Like,
said separated parents, right?
so no, my parents are still together.
Oh,
Okay.
So
Okay. I thought you
yeah.
said I couldn't. Yeah, I wasn't
I
sure
thought
earlier
so too.
if you said
So
that.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they're
Okay.
still together, and I get it from my mom because I see her like she always is on the go and giving to other people. And if my mom couldn't do something, I felt like a lot of the time she would rely on me. And so I would help too. And I don't mind, like, I love help. Like, that's in my nature. Like, I want to be able to help others, but at the same time, I need to help myself first. Like, you have to help yourself first before you can help other people,
Yeah,
obviously.
otherwise you won't be there to help those people.
Yeah, and I would always tell my parents that in the NICU, but I wasn't listening myself. So
Easier
it
said
was
than done, right? Yeah.
exactly. So, and then after I started posting on social media, I got all the scammers, everything else. But normally I was smart about it, like, or I thought I was like, I would at any time like they would ask me for money, I would be like, no, like, and just block them. But there was this one celebrity scammer who just
Oh
got in
no.
there. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, this is
So,
making me so sad.
yeah.
yeah.
So explain that. What happened there?
Well, so I ended up, yeah, it was crazy. Like, I ended there was okay. I usually said no, like, of course, when it came to giving out my money, but there was something about this celebrity scammer that got me. Like, I just needed somebody to talk to, you guys. Like, and I had isolated myself from the world because of me being an overgiver. I ended up just after the pickleball game, I slowly stopped playing pickleball, and I just started isolating myself from my family, my friends, everybody.
You swung to the other end of the. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I just focused on doing the deal because that was the only thing making me happy in my life. And so I had isolated myself so much. I ended up because I'm pretty outspoken. Like, I'm pretty outgoing. Like, I have a personality. Like, I like connecting with people, and I wasn't getting that. So of course that's how the scammer got in and was starting to ask me questions about, how was Little Miss Dill created and what happened behind her and like what was my story. And then that's where, yeah. And the scammer was good, you guys. Like, the scammer even made me like believe that they were helping me plan like Elf on the Shelf in the NICU. This is how good
Oh
this
They
celebrity
were
wow.
scammer
being your
was.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They.
Yeah.
Wow, that is terrible. You
They're
encountered somebody who's like actually an evil person.
yeah,
Yeah.
terribly good at
Well,
being evil.
yeah, it was awful. And I ended up flying to Arkansas and to think like thinking I was going to meet this celebrity scammer, which is, I know, ridiculous, but and then I gave him money, and then my card stopped working in Arkansas, and I was like, of course I was in a Motel 8 crying because I didn't know how I was going to make it home, honestly. And it was a tough lesson to learn, for sure. And but luckily I made it home. Thank God it was Arkansas. Everybody was really
Not
nice
very
in
far away.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Like, so I was just like, I love, yeah. And the craziest thing though, the Uber driver ended up working with one of the group members, and or he had before, and he was just like, oh, this poor girl. Like, what is she doing?
What group are you talking about? Group member?
The scammers.
So I ended up, well, what I ended up talking, well, I thought I was talking to Joe Jonas from the Jonas
Oh, okay.
Brothers. And I didn't
Handsome man.
even, yeah, like, and I wasn't even a big Jonas Brothers fan, honestly. Like, I've never been
Even
to a
less so
Jonas.
now.
Well, I mean,
Fuck Joe Jonas.
I know, like, yeah, like, I liked a couple of their songs, sure, but I never really like went to a concert or followed them. Now, if you were a Backstreet Boy, that's my jam. Like, and like and then I had another scammer claiming to be AJ from the Backstreet Boys, and he didn't get any money out of me because, like, he didn't get to know me as well, though.
He wasn't
But yeah,
nearly
I
as good.
said no. I said no to AJ, but this scammer, like, it was funny because
Can
I
I
reported,
ask? Okay.
yeah,
How did you think
added.
that Joe Jonas needed money? I just gotta know. Because he's fucking rich.
So I no, it wasn't that. They had they had come up with this story, you guys. It was crazy. They were saying that like I don't know. It was just so weird. They were wanting me to make sure I wasn't using them for their money, basically.
Hmm.
Like, You know what I mean? They like
Oh, it
kind of
was like
played
an
that card.
initiation thing. It was like they were
Yeah.
okay.
And I didn't ask to go to the concert. I didn't ask any of that. I was just like, I just wanted somebody to talk to. And he was just like, well, you have to pay for this hotel. And I was just obviously in Dululand. And you have to pay for this hotel. And then I thought I was talking to their manager, you guys. It was so crazy. And then the manager was telling me I was pitting the brothers against each other. And yeah, it was a whole
You could have been on
thing.
Catfish.
This is crazy drama.
Yeah, it was crazy, but I didn't know any better. And I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what the heck? Because that I've never done anything like that in my life, but I was so lonely and desperate, like just
Well, yeah.
for connection and to talk to
I
somebody.
I got a question. I had a question when you mentioned it, but I wanted you to tell that first because you clearly have no problem being social. Like you're not an antisocial person, obviously. And you said you have a good relationship with your family and you have a bunch of people that you talk to that are your friends. So I'm just wondering, like, do you know why you went so hardcore into isolate? Because you isolated yourself, but then clearly you needed to
Yeah.
talk to someone. So why did you not feel like you could talk to the people that you already had close to you? Do you know?
Yeah. I because like I felt like I had overgiven even with my family. And like with my sister, I had just helped, like I was trying to help her with the wedding too. And I
Mm-hmm.
was the maid of honor. So I was like planning all her stuff. And yeah, maybe it was just, I don't know.
You ran
And
out
I
of
met,
stuff to give.
yeah.
You just
And
ran
I
out.
Taken
was
advantage
scared.
of a little
Yeah.
bitter, maybe
Yeah.
that you'd have been taken advantage of too much, and that was your problem throughout your life. So you're done with it, kind of thing, maybe.
Especially maybe since you
Yeah.
were already feeling some sort of depression, and then when you then continue to, as you know, overgive, and you're like, when am I gonna get something?
Yeah, nobody
Right?
wants to
When
hear
am I
about
gonna
my
get
shit. They just want me to help with their wedding
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah,
So it's like super
Yeah.
understandable.
I get it.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, it was hard because I didn't even want to get close with my family again because like it was insane. But that I did learn a valuable lesson in that to where like I needed to start talking to somebody. So that's when me and my sister started to talk again or like get closer again because at the airport when I was flying back, yeah, I was just like, I need to at least talk to her, one person in my life. But yeah, it was crazy. Like the scammer had like a whole voiceover. Like AI is scary.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
and it sounded like him. And luckily, my Uber driver, since he used to work with the guys, like, I mean, he already knew it was a
Oh my
scam.
gosh,
That's
But
that's
insane.
like,
crazy.
yeah, he helped me like download this like lab app or whatever. I don't know what it's called, like Voice Lab. And I was able to put the audio in it. It was like 90% like fake,
AI.
obviously.
He was trying
Yeah.
to tip you off because he felt bad for you.
Yeah, he
Well,
was so sweet. I loved him. Like
I
he was
mean,
so nice.
that's a sign from God right there. That Uber driver was put there for
Right.
you in that moment
Yeah.
to really realize what happened, and maybe
Yeah.
Did you
of
ever
course
meet
it
any of
sucks.
these people?
The
Medium
scammers.
music.
Scammers?
No. So I ended up reporting it to the cops and because my passport was involved. I
Hmm.
don't yeah.
You don't have to get
So
into anything you don't want to.
yeah, no, my passport ended up getting involved. So I reported it and I like so it was just in case because I didn't want anybody like taking my identity or anything like
Hmm.
that.
Smart.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, so I'm sorry, what was the question?
Oh,
Like
I was just wondering if you met them, if you came in contact with any of them.
no, but I told him karma's a bee. So that was
No
the end of that
kidding.
conversation. And they did try to call me and stuff and like yeah, it was just awful. But the detective did tell me that he thought it might have been a woman because I was just like, I've never had a guy ask me like what like my
Mm.
passion was, what like I love how you're laughing right now about this.
That's
Like my
so funny.
goals,
Yeah.
my ambition. I've never had a guy ask me and get that
He was a
into
little
like,
too in tune.
yeah, like,
That's
because the
funny.
detective was like, no guy is going to ask you about your goals and your
He'd be like, "What do
ambition and
your
stuff like
boobs look
that.
like?"
Yeah. It was so like, okay, I got it now. Thanks.
Yeah.
Like, but
You know,
anyways, it
it's
was still
crazy.
a hard lesson.
It's like if I feel like, and this probably makes me more like not as forgiving, but if I got called again by them, now I'm doubling down. And Nick's gonna laugh because I say doubling down all the time. I'm gonna lean in hardcore until I find out where where you're at, and I'm gonna take you down.
Oh my
Right?
gosh. Like, yeah, like it was crazy. Like I hopefully no, like like never say never, but no. Like
Yeah.
it was just so scary. But yeah, but I still isolated myself, you guys. Like I still wasn't like realizing I need professional help. Like
Right.
after, so that was the biggest issue. You would think that would wake me up, right? But no.
Maybe. But you're like, it sounds like the theme here is that you're like,
Yeah.
you're looking for something that you already have. You just have to realize that you already have it. Because, like, the stuff where you said, like, you're looking for someone that's not your family or people you already know. You're like looking for this person that's going to kind of be the solution to your problems, which was the person you were talking to. It almost was like it's not them, it's something else. It's like this idealized thing that you're chasing. But then it's at the end, you kind of realize like the love and everything that you need, it's all in you and it's all in the people that you have back home. You got to stop running away from all that towards something that doesn't even really exist and then just be like, okay,
Can you
like
run away towards something?
Yeah.
yes, run away from them towards the thing that's not. Shut up, Mark.
Right.
You get my point.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
Yeah.
yeah, we got to continue on with your story though. So I
Yeah,
didn't mean
so
to
we're
interrupt.
so okay.
Yeah.
So step two of Little Miss Dill was the scammers.
That's
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah, that
That
was
is rough.
hard. That was a hard pill to swallow after that. And I was still, and then I ended up just pouring like myself into the NICU, like creating Christmas in the NICU, trying to like just, get my mind off of everything. And I got my grandmother's Christmas tree. I decorated that. And then the elf on the shelf, everybody loved the elf on the shelf idea that the scammer helped me to create.
It
And
was good for
like,
something.
yeah. So there was that. But I still wasn't realizing that I needed to, the biggest issue. I needed to talk to somebody because I was still posting videos online. But that was like, again, that was the only thing making me happy. And I still had been isolating myself. Like, yes, I started talking to my sister again. But I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell my parents what had happened yet.
Wow.
And yeah, it took a while for me to tell them. And then so I poured myself into work, but thank God, like those babies and the moms, like they helped me get out of like the heartbreak too. Like that was helping me
Hmm.
heal, and those handful of coworkers, because I was like, this is what it's really about, like a life, like you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So it was helping me in a way, but I still was
It still
just
wasn't.
ignoring.
It wasn't
Yeah,
you on the. Yeah.
I still was ignoring like why I ended up in that situation. So then after that, I Christmas happened and the holidays happened, and like I ended up noticing that I started to drink a little bit more like on my days off. And I was just like, okay, this is weird. Like I'm good about like well, I say that, but then I'm not getting like I didn't grow up counseling. Like where I live in South Texas, like we never talked about our feelings growing up. So that's all new to me, or this is all new to me. So that's another reason why I didn't think to get counseled or therapy, because we just buried our feelings whenever we were growing up. We didn't talk about them, like, and then so Christmas happened, and that's when the work situation started to. So I was supposed to be called off, or I was called off for work, but the nurses called me desperate for help. And I was just like, I felt bad. And I was just like, I would want help too because they were drowning. So I ended up going in on Christmas Day.
And you're a giver.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
boundaries.
Yeah. And of course, I got the admission, and then something happened to my baby. Like it's an ICU setting. I was overriding all the fluids and everything. They had just put in the lines in for my baby. And so I hung all my fluids, and then the baby ended up doing just, yeah, like desatting. We had to get the neo, and then we had to stop the fluids. And I was just like, what's going on? And the whole thing was like or after I had started the fluids, like that's when I noticed like 15 minutes later that the baby started to have like some kind of reaction. But it was really the neo. Whenever she came, she noticed like a discoloration on the belly, and then I had stopped the fluids, and then after that, like it went away, and I was like, what's going on? And I had everybody check everything, all the connections, everything was right. But then after we had started scanning the fluids, they think it was just a vasospasm. I don't know, I don't know if y'all know anything
Going
about,
right over my
I
head, but
know.
I know it's
My,
serious though.
Anyways,
I'm picking
I
up on that.
had
Yeah.
one
yeah,
kid in the PQ or NICU, then
yeah.
another kid in the PQ, but that still went over my head. But
It's a lot. Yeah. So, anyways, so after, like, usually you're supposed to scan your fluids before you give the medication. Yes. But we're in an ICU setting. Normally we don't know what's going on with the baby. We're trying to hurry up and get the fluids going because, they can have low sugars, and we have like lines now. We don't want them to clot off. So, we want to hurry up and start the fluids. So, in real life, like, we'll go back and scan the fluids after we already hung them. And well, um, that's what we did. And I made sure it was the right fluids, everything, all the other checks were fine. But then I started scanning it, and then my TPN was expired. And I was just
and
like,
what's that?
okay. So basically, it's just like electrolytes in a bag, like your sugar, your
The
potassium.
bag was expired.
Yeah, it's like a
Okay,
banana bag kind of, but
gotcha.
for babies, yeah. So, anyways, so they were expired, and then we got another bag of fluids. So I ended up hanging, but the fact is, the baby had some kind of reaction, and I was just like, when the fluids were going, and I was just like, wait a minute, like what was going on? And but it had nothing to do, they don't think it had anything to do with the fluids, like after like we looked at everything. But I was just like, we have to tell somebody. I was just like, that's the right thing to do. And like, the bag wasn't scanned. Like, I could have easily like not said anything, but I was like, no, like we need to learn like from this, and we need to like do something about it, because what if the other fluids are expired? So
Mm-hmm.
I basically told on myself, and I
Mm.
told the neos, and I ended up writing a variance report about it. Do y'all know what a variance report is? Like,
Is that kind of like you're just
Just
filing
like
a
a
report about what happened?
yeah, basically. And it's basically like a near miss, or if something happens to your patient, of course, like you're going to write a variance report. But also, if something almost happens to your patient, like it's important to write one so you can learn to prevent an issue from occurring. You know what I mean? Like that kind of
Hmm.
thing. You learn from them, and people are scared to write them, but that's how you learn.
They don't want to get
So,
fired, right? And but you were like trying to do the right thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So but that night I didn't get out till like 11. So usually you write the report before you leave, but I was so exhausted. I ended up coming back and I wrote it. And after that, I started to notice that I was getting treated differently by upper management. And before, yeah, and because I had written an email about the whole issue when it came to short staffing. Like, I talked to, because it was a hell, like the shift was hell. Christmas Day was awful, like for all of us. And the nurses that were already there were drowning, and they had a full patient load, and we were in a level 3 NICU. So the staffing was off, like we were short staffed, and everybody was running around. And I thought we were all in agreement, like, okay, let's ask for a meeting. So I had written an email, and I asked to meet with upper management. And then I wrote the variance report, and then I noticed that I thought I had a good rapport with them, honestly. But then after that, like, they stopped talking to me. And
Oh
the big
man.
boss, yeah, it was crazy. Like the big boss talked to me, and it was weird because she had never really tried to get close to me before in my like life, like, or in my career there. But the manager I thought I was close, who I thought I was close with, she stopped talking to me altogether. And yeah. And it just made me sick in the head because I was just like, what did I do? And also that weekend, I wrote that email about the staffing issue and wanting to meet with them about it. And I noticed other safety issues too within the unit.
Hmm.
And there was a big one. There was a really big one that I was just like, had been going on for months. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, and I had sent another email about that issue.
So were you okay? So they saw you as kind of being a like a tattletale was why they were mad.
So I don't know if they looked at it like because I had never raised concerns like this in my life. Like this was the
Just
first
rocking the
time.
boat.
That's what,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I was just like, no, like I had never had an issue with anybody before. I have never raised safety issues in a NICU before. This was the first time I have actually spoken up about like anything.
Well, and
And
that should be okay when it's
Yeah,
you
people's
good for
should.
lives at
you.
stakes, little babies' lives at
Seriously.
stakes. Like, yeah,
We talk
absolutely.
about this. Me and Mark talked about this before, like a lot. Like, I have family that have gone in for pretty extreme medical care in Arizona,
Yeah.
and just like a lot of people in medical don't do what you did. They don't seem to like give a shit. You know what I mean?
And and that's yeah. And but I'm not married. I don't have any kids. These were my babies.
Hmm.
Right.
So, and like I poured myself into work. And like, yeah, after that happened, I was just not there anymore. Like I was so upset. I was starting to cry every day. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's a hormone issue. Like I was still ignoring the fact that I needed help, you guys. Still. So I ended
I
up going to urgent care. Yeah. I ended up
Oh
going,
no, you thought it was a body thing, yeah.
yeah, I thought it was like a thyroid issue. I was just
Uh-huh.
like, so yeah, like
Couldn't be
after
all
we,
of this trauma that I've been
yeah.
experiencing. Yeah.
I
yeah.
I not I
So
mean your story is definitely one dr- like he said,
thank
like
you.
trauma and everything, and I just wonder how many people are out there that hopefully are listening to this story and being like,
Yeah.
don't just think it's something like feel free to go start with the fact that it might be that you're sad, depressed, or hurting, or needing to talk to somebody. Like that's
Right.
totally normal. And I know guys are the worst at that. I know I've been there. I've been the worst at that.
Push
And
stuff
so
down
this
until your
actually,
body starts getting messed up. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
It's
Nick knows
scary.
I'll have some health issues. I'm like, dude, I think I'm dying. He's like, shut up. You're not dying. You're
He's like, I'm
fine.
gonna be
If you
dead
were
soon.
dying,
Oh,
this, and this would happen. And I'm sitting here like
Yeah.
stressing
yeah.
out. So,
Yeah. So I had gone to urgent care and I was filling out the history part of it. And yeah, all the mental health questions like popped up and I just started bawling.
You're like, uh oh, they caught me.
Yeah. You guys, like, yeah. And I looked to my left and there was literally a stack of Bibles. And I was just like, all right, God, I'm listening. Like, I was just like, yeah, this is why I'm here.
that gave me a
So,
couple goosebumps right there.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
stats in your face. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, like finally. But so they tried to put me on antidepressants. I don't do well
I
with,
wouldn't do that
yeah.
either. Yeah.
I had to try them
So,
too.
yeah, so I couldn't do that. But then the next day I had to work. And so I went back to work, and luckily my coworker, she gave me her counselor's number, and she didn't even know if she was like still working. But soon enough, like that day at work, I had to step out of my assignment. I was precepting too, like a new nurse, and I felt bad for
Uh,
her. Like, but I had to take a step back and because I had just realized I need professional help here. And so I ended up walking off the floor and like calling the counselor right away and got an appointment because like the work issue really got to me because like it made me feel paranoid because I had people telling me, be careful. Like I've seen them retaliate and like they weren't retaliating like, but they were treating me different, like they differently, like they stopped talking to me. And everybody usually, like, they're warm, they're welcoming, they're saying hi. And but yeah, even the speech therapist, like I noticed one of the days she didn't come to my pod to help me, like help my baby's first bottle feed or help. Yeah,
Just sounds like
but
people
it's
are
fine.
talking a bunch of shit.
You don't know
Yeah,
though. You don't know. You don't
you
know,
never
right?
know. You never
Yeah.
know, Nick.
And
So,
you're in
but
a mental, not the best mental, and a lot of
you're
times when
right.
you're like that, you
Yeah,
attribute the worst possible motives to people because you're already feeling
yeah,
insecure and uncomfortable. This is probably a little bit of what you're thinking it is, but probably not as much as you thought it
yeah.
was.
Yeah, and I do overthink, but the one thing I did know, this is really what made me think that like it was coming, like, or not it was coming, but like notice that they were treating me differently. So that day I got the counselor's number and I called her and made the appointment. I ended up messaging my manager and just to be like, hey, I'm coming from a good place. Like I want to make good, like I want to make like I'm coming, like it's just hard to talk about because it was crazy. I just told her like I'm coming from a good place. Like I just want to make like a change in the unit and just make the unit safer for like the patients and the nurses too, because we have to wear a lot of hats.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel, especially with the pharmacy and the expiration, like, or and the expired fluids, like I felt like pharmacy needs to, everybody needs to be accountable for their job. And because nurses do a lot. And that was the biggest issue too. And, but, um, but yeah, so I had texted my manager and she didn't text me back. And then I ended up leaving early from work because I was really upset. And so the next day, my manager texted me and told me she wasn't at work and asked me what I needed. And that's when I told her, hey, I just want to make sure this is a safe place. And that's all. I'm coming from a good place and yada, yada, yada. And she was like, yeah, I wouldn't think anything but. Come to find out, when I came back to work that weekend, the somebody had mentioned to me that after I left crying, my manager ended up going like after ended up asking them if like why I was crying, why did I leave work crying? So she was there on the unit
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm,
she had told me she wasn't there.
suspicious.
And
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah, like it was just, I was like, okay. And then she was just, yeah, my friend was just like, yeah, she was asking me like questions, like what we talked about and stuff like that too. And I'm like, well, why didn't she just come to me? Like,
Yeah, and that's
and
super weird to just lie about not being there.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
that,
Interjection here. People do weird things when they sense like emotional shifts in people too. So it could be that they just sensed that there was something emotionally going on with you, and that makes people feel uncomfortable. And then they start. A lot of times, like my mom had a similar kind of like work breakdown to what you're describing,
yeah,
where she was raising concerns and just kind of like rocking the boat with the upper management type people, and the people that she would have thought would have been, they were her friends that she'd worked with forever, she would have thought she would have had their support, they all like put their heads down and were kind of treating her like she had whatever, like she wasn't she wasn't there or whatever, like she was had leprosy, you know. They didn't want anything to do with it because they could sense that there was something, maybe she was like headed towards her demise, or if they were caught affiliating with her, they might put themselves their jobs in jeopardy or whatever. It kind of sounds a little bit like that was going
But
on at your
what's
place.
crazy to me, the difference here to me about that
Mm.
is that Miranda works in a very emotional place. Like I
Yeah.
said, I've had kids in the NICU and the PQ, and like you kind of lean on the fact that these nurses, like, they care so much, and you'd like to think that your manager was some cared about you the same way you see them care about your kids. And so when you hear stuff like that, the potential that really maybe that's not the case, it makes you kind of nervous.
yeah. And I had confided in her about some stuff, and it was just weird how she stopped talking to me, and then that her boss ended up starting to talk to me more. And it was just, the whole situation was just, I don't know. And then we ended up having the meeting. And the one thing that I wanted to bring up, the big safety issue, the one that was really making me sick, um, I feel the like the person in charge was trying to skate around it. Like they weren't bringing the issue up at all. Like they were going through the staffing situation, and I wasn't a charge nurse, so I don't know how all the ratios go and stuff, but it just sounded like a bunch of like round in circles. But it did, I mean, this ratios did get better. Like the staffing did get better after that. And then I've also found out, like with my expired fluids, they were able to come up with the plan to where, and I always recommend including your educator in everything when it comes to safety issues, because the educator was mainly like the one helping me with these issues that we were having on the unit and to make a change. And thank God for her, because she was the only one I felt that was really listening to me. And I was helping her too with like noticing other stuff, because we just got a new computer system and it was just, it was a hot mess. But yeah, so she had so yeah, I was including my educator with all the emails and everything about the safety issue too as well. And yeah, she was able to tell me that they ended up doing like a sticker thing to where, maybe a red sticker or something to identify like the expired fluids, so we wouldn't have that issue anymore, because that's why we do like variance reports
Why
to
wouldn't you
fix.
just throw away an expired bag?
Well, you would think that
I'm not
everybody was
asking
doing.
you. I just mean like the pharmacy with a red sticker on it.
I mean, I don't know if it was a red sticker. I don't know. They were just talking about like some kind of like, sticker or like some kind of like resolution to the issue,
Hmm.
so it wouldn't happen again. I don't necessarily know like what it was that they did, but I made a change in that situation.
Yeah,
And
that's great.
so yeah, so I knew we could do better. But there was this one safety issue, you guys. Like it was big. And I was just like, nobody else is saying anything about this. Like it was crazy. And yeah.
Were they just mad that do you feel, we don't know, but did it feel like they were just frustrated that you were calling all this stuff out because it made them look bad? Like, do you have any idea? Like,
No, honestly, like the last thing, like when I brought up the issue again about the fridges, like, oh, like I'm going to say it. It was about the refrigerators. The refrigerators were running high,
mm,
and it was
With
all on,
medications in them?
um, no, breast milk.
No. Okay.
mm.
And it had been that way for months. And by the time I recognized it, yeah, it had been like that. And I was just like, this is a serious issue. Our babies are at risk for neck and
Hmm.
sepsis. And
There's no like oversight that comes in and checks this stuff. Like if at a restaurant you have the DEC that comes through and makes sure all that stuff is temped out right, and that's not even nearly as serious. That's
right.
crazy.
Yeah. And I was told, yeah, it was crazy. And I swear, like I wasn't just losing my mind. This was a serious issue that needed to be addressed. But
Oh, for sure.
I was being so dismissed. I couldn't believe it. And I was just like, what the heck? And then like I asked people, I was like, I should I write a variance report? Like, yeah. So I was just like, I gave it another week, and and I had just started counseling. So all of my issues were about work. And so I really hadn't started doing the work within myself. Like I
Hmm.
had all this crap going on at work and my job. So that weekend, I was just like, okay, well, what if I get other people on the incident report with me? So it's not just me. So I ended up going around the unit and asking like if anybody would put their names on it with me, and I couldn't get one nurse.
Wow.
You're being a little bit of a martyr though. Like you like I mean not intentionally, but you could tell that when you poked it that it wasn't good, and then you were like, I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
one's big too. That is
It
a
is
big one.
big, but
I mean, you're
it's
looking
kind of
at a
like, yeah,
huge lawsuit.
that's the thing. That's why people don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
like,
fix the issue.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
talking about it recognizes that there is an issue, and if you recognize that there is an issue, then you could be liable for the issue,
Not if
probably,
you just
right?
go in and get new refrigerators.
Quickly change it real fast. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, you guys, like the first thing I did was call Biomed, but then Biomed wasn't allowed to touch it. I'm like, okay, that's what you do when you don't
Yeah.
have like an equipment that works. You call Biomed at the hospital. But then they came in and they couldn't touch it. I'm like, what the heck? Like I did everything before I like, yeah, I did all the right things. And I'm just like, okay. And then I asked like I even asked a neonatologist, like, should I write the issue? Like, and it was crazy because she was even like, give it some time too. And I loved my neos there. I did. Like anytime I had a concern with the baby, they were there. But at the same time, like I couldn't sit, it didn't sit right with me. Like this issue needed to be dealt with. And when I asked why can't we just, and the director even told me she had a warranty on these fridges. And I'm like, okay, well, like,
Use it.
Utilize it.
yeah. Yeah. And yeah, she was like, well, they live in New York or whatever, or like the people that fixes, I don't know. It was just a whole, like, she was just giving me the runaround.
Excuses.
Yeah. And after that day, I didn't know I was going to walk out on my job. I didn't. But the next day, I was just so fed up and tired of it. Like, and I could just feel, you know how you can just feel people talking about you?
Hmm.
And I mean, I was a pickle with a bow online. Like, I mean, they were already talking about me. I get it. You know what I mean? And like, so I was just like, why am I trying so hard and nobody like, yeah, like I know why I was trying so hard because those babies deserve better than that. And like, I was just like, I'm done. Like, I'm done like putting myself in toxic situations like that. And that's another issue of mine. Like, not feeling seen or heard whenever I was little too, I'm dealing with right now. And, but yeah, so I ended
So,
up, mhm.
no, go ahead. I can ask this later.
So I ended up like, I waited till the end of the shift and I ended up handing my manager my letter of resignation. And I didn't even give her my 2 weeks. I felt like they didn't deserve it. So I just walked. And I've
Hmm.
never done that in my life before. Never have. And I didn't know what I was going to do for work. And so it was really hard. So
And is that where you sit right now?
So yeah, so after the next couple of days, like the next day was hard. I like just stayed in bed all day because I couldn't believe what happened because this
Fair
was my
enough, though.
yeah, this is my career. It was pretty traumatic. Like and so like after that, I just prayed so hard, you guys. I prayed and I don't know why, like I just had just the sense to just look at my retirement plan and I looked at how much was in there. I was like, whoa. I was like, where did this come from? So I had been investing way more than I thought I was investing, and my stocks had done well.
That's a
So
good feeling.
yeah. And honestly, I was just like, thank you. I was like, that's when I knew I was like that, the man upstairs had my back in this and he
Hmm.
knew I was doing the right thing. So that's whenever that was my money, that solved my money issue. So I was able to take some time off from work and just
Very
figure out life
nice.
again. Yeah. So
So
So, do
it
you
yeah.
continue right now with the same counselor?
So no, I ended up switching because like I am in therapy right now. I'm doing EMDR therapy right now.
Yeah, can you
So
explain that?
um I I don't know. I'm new to it, so
Oh,
I don't
okay.
want to talk. Yeah. I
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if
Yeah,
I
I
feel
got you.
talking about it because it's desensitizing certain situations, like traumatic situations that's happened in your life. Like it's for PTSD, anxiety, depression, all that. But I really don't know too much into it. Like I just started.
Okay.
Well,
It's the
yeah.
rapid eye movement thing, right? I just looked it up. It has to do with eye
You can do
movement.
that. Yeah, you can do that. Or there's like these handlebars, like vibration, or
Binaural thing.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
So I'm doing that right now. And just yeah. And it doesn't have to be just for PTSD. It's been helping me with my anxiety and stuff too. But I
Well,
mean, I feel like all of it comes together. Like it was traumatic though, like the whole experience. And then,
And this all happened in like a short amount of time, relatively.
But
It sounds like.
also she'd been that's what I was going to say. It
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like you had been carrying a monster load of like responsibility and just operating at this high level of stress that you weren't even recognizing, just because, and what you explained with your family and stuff, that you've kind of been raised to think that you have to operate at this base level of stress, and that's normal. And I know that feeling too. And then what the
You've
therapist
talked
kind of
about that a
tells
lot.
you, yeah, the therapist kind of teaches you like that feeling of constantly being on edge all the time. That's not where you're supposed to be. We just
mm,
have been trained to think that. So like you working in that highly intense situation, like you're just stressed all the time, but you
mm,
didn't know it and you weren't recognizing it. And then all that stuff that happened that kind of was like pushing you towards recognizing it, and then you realized like, oh my
yeah,
gosh, I'm here, this is like, I can't bear this another minute. Like if I don't have to carry this shit, I'm not going to. And that's when you dropped to the bags and you were like, I'm, maybe you can go back, but you got to get to the point where you will have fortified yourself enough where you don't get immediately pushed up back into that register of stress where you have been operating.
Or at least
Is
now
what it sounds
recognize
like
that
to
you're being
me.
pushed up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I was like in survival mode
all the
and
Yeah.
time.
all the
And just
time.
thought it was normal, which is why
Hmm.
you were tolerating that treatment from that guy, because you're like, yeah, it's okay to be stressed and upset about my relationship, right? Not a
Yeah.
big deal. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
Nick really has talked about this quite a bit, just how he had to recognize that he was always like that too, always on this
I
high
still
level of
am always
stress.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
just
But you
constantly and
recognize it,
trying to
which is a
bring it
huge
down.
step.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like that's interesting. So how do you deal with it, Nick?
The
Like
stress.
with just calming yourself down, because that's what I've been learning, like through my self-love journey. Like I've been trying to find ways, like with the inner child work too. Like she's also been able to help me reduce my anxiety, like my therapist. And I I don't, that's why I'm trying the EMDR, honestly. Because I've
I think
like,
that's the right direction. I think that like for me, deep breathing, exercising,
mhm.
are really really big. And then just like, I know it sounds silly, and this is probably actually part of what's good about the Miss Dill thing, is like the positive affirmations, right? Like
Yeah, but
convincing yourself
um,
repeatedly like things are okay, things are good, things are good, like that is going to help you kind of like correct the negative, like kind of the negative space that's your baseline. You got
right.
to, we're trying to reprogram, I think, that to be more of like we're
Like,
sitting at this like
yeah,
happier content, and not just because for me, I'm always tense like all the time. Like I sleep and my jaw's tense, my stomach's tense. If I'm not careful, my hands start to go like this. I'm just constantly operating with this like pressure, and so I just have to constantly be like, release it, let it go.
it's hard. Yeah. Like you said, like I had always been like, stressed out and like in that survival mode. And but it's been teaching me, like the therapy like has been really helping me when it comes to giving back to myself and how important it is. And I did do those positive affirmations too. That was like one of the first things I started doing. I write them on my mirror, and then like I hold my throat. Like you have to see it, you have to feel it, like,
Hmm.
and you have to hear it. And so I do that like 7 times, like every day, every night. And I don't always do it. I try to, routinely do it, but sometimes, you're tired, stuff happens. And then like that, and then giving back to myself, that's been helping. And then going through doing the inner child work, like, acknowledging like what was not healed from my past whenever I was a child, that has been a big thing. And recognizing like boundaries are very important.
It's
And
huge. Yeah.
so that's been a part of it, besides like the play of the inner child too.
Yeah,
And
for
just
me, that's the big one, boundaries, and being able to say what you did at your job is
yeah,
convincing that was a big turning point for you to convince yourself, I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. And like that
Right.
mental switch that clicks in your brain, if you can convince yourself of that in any situation you encounter, like I can
Yeah.
walk away from this at any time if this is not good for me. I think
Right.
that helps you bring it down too.
And
Yeah.
I think that what also helps Nick too. I know this sounds weird coming from me, but I've known him for a long
You
time.
know, yeah. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Working for himself, making his own hours, doing his own job, being his own boss. Because if he had to do it for somebody else,
Mhm.
he would just be
That's
jumping
true.
from work to job, and that anxiety level would be
I
much.
also probably have
It'd be a
yeah.
different anxiety level, because I know you still have anxiety about being an entrepreneur and running your business and making the money. And I have to
Yeah.
remind him all the time that he's doing a good job.
But
Yeah.
Miranda probably isn't quite like me in the sense where I'm just very disorganized person. But since you're in medical, you probably have a certain level of organization with what you do. No?
No, I have
Okay.
like
Okay.
y'all. I'm my ADHD is so bad. Like I feel like there's a study now that talks about women not being diagnosed till they're 12, and then we're going through puberty too. So like
Mhm.
there's a lot of people. There was a lot of like there's a lot of us that have been like not diagnosed till later in life. Like I wasn't diagnosed until I was in college, and I was like, no wonder I have been struggling through school so much, and that had a lot to do with my anxiety issues as well,
That makes
like,
sense.
so no, like yeah, my ADHD is so bad, and I have trouble organizing a lot of things too.
I think part of that too though, because we have a shop and I have an employee who is she's like 18, so I can look at her and see probably the way I acted, but in a like I've fortified myself differently. But anyways, I've been watching her the way she operates at that high level of stress, and
Mhm.
when you're at that high level of stress, it's you go into like almost an autopilot mode. So I
Yeah.
think that ADHD thing is really tied with the anxiety, and that anxiety is stopping your brain from really analyzing the situation in front of you. Like we've learned how to work around our anxiety to get stuff done,
Yeah.
but I think if you got the anxiety under control, the ADHD might be more manageable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like that's what I'm learning on my self-love journey too, is just ways like the giving back to myself has really helped. And with the inner child, like therapy and stuff, like I found my love for dance again. And that's what I would always do growing. Yeah.
I'm a
I,
dancer, actually.
oh, are you really? Are you laughing?
Two-time
Are you
national
serious?
champion.
He is
Yeah,
Oh
a
my
little
serious.
bit.
gosh. Okay. I'm very gullible, obviously.
No,
But
I'm
He's
yeah.
also Joe Jonas. I don't know if you knew that.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Like,
No, my
but
wife is
yeah.
a instructor, a dance instructor, and so every year I do a dad's dance at her studio.
Oh,
So is
that's
that good, like for your
awesome.
stress?
Yeah, actually it is. So,
Maybe I gotta dance.
It's like the extra.
yeah.
Yeah, Nick, maybe you should dance. Well, it's like Nick's exercise, right? So
Yeah, so and it was hard for me to get back in the world. Like after all this crap that happened, like because I isolated myself and I was scared to trust people again. And one of the first things I started to do was my little self-love journeys, like take pictures of the journey. But then I was like, okay, I can videotape this. So then I started videotaping myself, like doing the self-love stuff. I even did a video about the horseback riding, which really helped with my anxiety, and because it's called equine therapy,
mm,
and yeah, and it is a thing, and it did help me. So I did that, and then improv, I started taking
whoa,
an improv class.
You really
that
put
takes.
yourself out there.
I was
Good
gonna say,
job.
for lack of a better term, that takes balls.
It does.
Yeah, improv is not easy.
Yeah.
So, but it is helping me build those relationships again, and it's helping me to trust people again, especially
This
after all
is
this stuff.
this is really like turning into I'm so glad to hear this because
Yeah.
I don't feel like when we finish I'm gonna be like, dang, Miranda's in trouble. You know what I mean? It's like it
Yeah,
feels like
yeah.
you're on the right path to your recovery. So this is
And
great.
Yeah,
yeah, and
thank you.
I think Little Miss Dill, if it you sharing all these messages, I think that's really going to help somebody. And hopefully, when people watch this too and hear
100%.
your story from for an hour and a half or so, like they'll realize that there's always hope and there's solutions. and you don't have to feel the way you're feeling forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you got to put yourself out there, even if it means dressing up like a pickle. Like
Yeah.
Oh, have
get
fun.
out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody told me they were inspired, or that I was inspiring them to wear a shrimp outfit. And I was like, perfect, do it.
Do
That's
it.
Like,
great.
Yeah.
so, but yeah, definitely the improv helped. And then also the ballroom dancing. So I started whenever I went to go to my improv class, I noticed that there was the Fred Astaire dance studio right next door. And I've always wanted to do ballroom dancing.
Oh
So
my gosh, that's funny.
then, yeah, so I've been, that's been helping me build trust within a partner.
Oh,
So
that's good.
that's,
That's a good point.
yeah.
Nice.
This
So
reminds
for
me of
sure.
like Yes Man, the movie Yes Man. You're just like, I'm saying yes to everything, and your life is gonna end up
Right.
better.
Well, I got to start thinking about what I do now. Like I can't just say yes to everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
But
like, I
yeah,
found a good baseline.
But so,
right.
okay, so like that kind of brings us to then, are you feeling better? Are you starting to
Yeah.
feel like you're possibly ready to get back to work or something? Not yet?
Honestly, with the whole thing that happened with my job situation, I don't know if I want to go back to nursing.
New career.
Yeah. And I'm really enjoying this content creating. It's a lot. Like I didn't realize how much went into it until like I started really getting serious about it. Like after I had left my job, I was still, yes, playing with the pickle, but now like that, like that's I guys.
Mark knows about playing with the pickle. Continue.
Sorry.
Okay. Like I was asking for that one, but like I when I really started like healing, really like I started getting into like the whole like creating of the content and like videotaping myself and putting myself out there, and I'm starting enjoying it actually. And so I'm trying, yeah. And I was just like, never in a million years did I think I would do something like this before. And it is on the more creative side. I was never really like on, I hated studying, I'm gonna be honest. Like I was more like the creative, like I wanted to dance, like I wanted to like, just to do other stuff but study. But and that's not to say I couldn't go, like I'm not gonna go back to school later in the future, but right now like it's I
You're
it's
giving it a
too.
whirl with
I
the
feel like
content creation.
I'm
you
gonna
sound you're
try,
gonna be a content creating
Do it.
counselor or something.
And we'll do our best to try to help
right.
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll make sure to
Yeah,
add your links to your socials in the
Promote
description
it.
and in the
Yeah.
end of this.
that would
And
be amazing because that has been the biggest issue is like getting the word out there because like with
that's how
Little
we
Miss.
feel.
Yeah. So, like with Little Miss Dill, my ultimate goal for her, like with my self love journey and her, is to take the stigma out of talking about mental health because we automatically go to that deep part about it. Like, we automatically go, okay, depressed, like, all the way left, right? But why don't we focus on the positive aspect of counseling and mental health? Like, you can still have fun reconnecting with your inner child through dance, through playing, like, and just take the stigma out of it. And yes, you have to go through the serious part of it, but maybe she can help lighten the load a little bit first.
Well, you're
But
gonna feel better if you address your problems, and if you don't address
Oh
your
yeah.
problems, you're gonna die. So just take
But
care
that's
of it,
that.
right?
It sounds like the hard part though is getting to that point where understanding that you might have some issues that need to be dealt with, and like
yeah,
convincing yourself that it's not just gonna go away.
yeah, I'm still trying to figure her out. Like, so I
Well, I
just
think
like,
telling your story probably helps a lot because you sound jovial and you're fun to talk to,
thank
and this
you.
is a good, interesting story for people to hear, an important story for people to hear. And I can't
Yeah.
imagine that if you were feeling like you did a year ago, that you'd be right here.
Yeah, I couldn't either. Like, honestly, it's been a ride. But I've never been more passionate and more like I believe in my content. Like I believe I can help somebody with this. And that's what's been keeping me going because I'm doing this all by myself and it's hard. Like I said, like I'm filming it, I'm editing it, and like with my ballroom experience, like my dancing, like I'm showing that. too. Like, and every time I think I'm going to have some help, something happens. I'm like, okay, there's a reason. Like, I've always lived my life. Like, everything happens for a reason, right?
Hmm.
Don't
So,
rely on help. Yeah, like because with my artistic stuff too, I'm always like, or I was for a while, like hoping people would help me with it, and then like you said, people
yeah.
just keep like, for whatever reason, they're not there for you, and it's like if you
Well,
don't
they're
do
not
it
sharing
yourself,
your
it's not going to
passion.
get done.
So.
Yeah, they don't share your
Right.
passion, whatever.
Right. But I have to get realistic, like about all this. Like, I'm not really making an income with TikTok right now because I'm
Sure,
still
maybe you
trying to
will, right?
I hopefully, like, I mean, I think I have like $3 on my shoppable
Hell
videos,
yeah.
but I mean,
Well,
it's
I
something.
followed you yesterday or this morning, so
We're posting
Oh,
up your
well,
links on the video.
yeah, yeah.
I appreciate it, but yeah, for sure. But I ended up getting my Zumba license. So I'm gonna start teaching
Oh, cool.
Zumba. So
Do it.
yeah, yeah, because I love dance. And I was just like, why didn't I think of that in the beginning? Like, you know what I mean? And that's a start.
Yeah,
So
this
that'll help
this
me.
path is leading you towards where you're going. It's you're gonna find where
Yeah.
you need to be, but you're on the right path.
That's how we feel too. Yep.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. What do y'all think of the deal? I love her. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but like, what do y'all think of the whole content with her and the inner child?
Go ahead, Nick.
Mark.
I know you were.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, for sure. I watch it and I see somebody who's extremely happy, and I feel like it might be that's how the persona you can put on to really put your messaging out there. And I think that's really awesome because that's what makes you feel comfortable, and it's what makes you feel excited about this journey. And it makes me happy to watch, and it's intriguing and it's interesting, and I would continue doing it.
so
Maybe
for
eventually
me,
you'll be Little Big Deal, like Little
little
Big
big.
Town.
Yeah, but obviously, I need to become Miranda too. Like, you know what I mean?
But
Like, I'm
you do
trying to go
both on your
that.
socials, that from what I've seen.
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I'm starting to find my voice again, so that's helping. Like, I
So we had, I don't know how many people, surprising amount of people reach out to us that wanted to be guests, and we selected you first, and it was because I wanted to know what the hell was going on with the pickle costume.
Yeah, it's
So
intriguing.
it
Yeah.
it worked as far as that goes, because I was like, I've listened to her. I went through the Instagram. I listened to her talk. She sounds normal. The pickle costume was a little different. So I
yeah.
want to know what's going on. And so
Oh,
from that perspective, it is an attention grabber. And then when you're given the opportunity to speak like you have been, I was going to say this, you are a really good speaker. You're really introspective. You're a good listener. Like you could somehow in your future incorporate like motivational like public speaking into
Hmm.
it. You should, because you have
yeah.
that on lock. So the
I mean,
pickle is
you said
good.
you've never done this before, and you're
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you're
crushing it.
doing
So,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's been so hard to come on here and just be me. Cause like in real life, if you met me in real life, you can't shut me up. But like on here, like,
Same.
I was gonna
you're
say Nick
like,
too. No.
but it's so hard to be here online and making you and being vulnerable. It's not easy. And I needed to do the work though, like, to feel comfortable to share my story too.
Yeah.
So, but,
You're,
um,
you're
You're
doing a
good
but
good
at
yeah,
job.
it.
Yeah, you're good
thank
at it.
you. But I do
Hmm.
agree. I need to start coming on here more and maybe I could help other people too. Like, and that's my ultimate goal with all of this content too. If I can just help one person, like, I feel like I'm doing my job, or it's not even a job. I love what I do, like I'm doing.
Well, you're being an
So,
example of like living to take care of
Strength.
yourself. Someone who's not gonna let other people walk on them
Hmm.
or cross their boundaries. You're like, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and that's a
Like
good
strength
message for
and
people.
growth. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because that's the ultimate goal. Like, I know everybody, or a lot of people have gone through the cycle of the relationship or a scam or like a work issue. Like, and everybody has life, it happens. But the ultimate, like, the most important thing is to, like, how you deal with it and coming, and then, and that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Like, if you do the inner work, you can get better and it does get better. And that's the ultimate goal with this
I
that I
was
wanted.
just gonna say, if you had to leave with a message, what would it be? And I feel like you did it before I asked.
Yeah. So hopefully Like, I don't know. So we'll see. The world is my oyster.
Good. You
So
sound very confident when you said that.
I mean, I know. That
Was
sounds
really
no,
hesitant when you
like
said it.
Right, maybe
no.
that's one of those
I
affirmations you gotta keep saying, right?
Well, it's been a journey for sure. And it's like there's been so many times where y'all I just with this content and stuff, I'm like, what am I doing? Like I just wanted to throw in the towel. But I'm proud of myself though, because I still keep going and I'm evolving. Like if you notice from where I started till now, like Lord, not just the big bow, but like, like my growth, like in my content, like my content is my diary, like,
Yeah.
and that had helped me healed because I was doing inspirational quotes in the beginning, and I would actually go back and read those quotes for myself, and it was helping me get through whatever I was getting through. And I was also able to look at myself and be like, oh, I am kind of funny. Oh, I am, like, I am beautiful. Like it was
That is
helping
such a
me
good
to
feeling, yeah.
heal. Yeah, so
Well,
And we
we're
can
but
relate to
excited.
that too,
Yeah,
because
we're on
we
the
started this
same
and
path.
we're
Yeah.
like, you know what? I don't give a crap if anybody watches. We're gonna do it because we like doing it, and it's good for us to
Yeah. Yeah.
socialize and laugh and have fun.
Yeah,
right.
Nick always talks about how he won't just go hang out with somebody. Like I'm not gonna like don't come over and have dinner and watch a movie. But
Oh
but
yeah,
then so this is
I
his
have to turn
outlet
it into
too.
work in order for me to
Yeah,
justify
yeah.
having
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
So.
yeah.
That's funny. And I have a question for you, Nick. Like when it comes to being an entrepreneur, how do you separate like your work, like doing this and then your
Mhm.
personal life? Because that's what I've been having an issue with organizing all this.
So it's hard, and I wouldn't call like me and Mark are doing this as a separate thing. My entrepreneur stuff is like I do real estate photography and videography, so
Mhm.
that's my like, and I do it all the time. And so for me, it is hard to separate. And in the beginning, it was especially hard to separate. And I had just gotten married right as I was trying to start up my business. So
Wow.
what you were talking about in the beginning about your relationship, I kind of had flashbacks because we didn't do anything fun for the first few years. And now at this point, I'm established and I'm making the money I want to make. And now I
Yeah.
have to start to try to go back and retroactively set boundaries that I didn't set in the beginning because I couldn't, because I was like feast or famine, you know? So
Yeah.
it is a struggle. I'm not sure. I guess for me, knowing like you have to be confident in yourself to say I'm good, and if I say I'm closing the books now and I'm gonna go on vacation for a week, they're all
Yeah.
gonna come back when I come back. Like I am allowing myself permission to take a break.
Yeah.
Basically, I just have to try to do that. But no, I don't think I've perfected it by any stretch. Yeah,
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better
I don't
because
know.
that
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's been hard, like, because it is a struggle because, like, I'm trying to, like, because doom scrolling is a thing. Like, I've gotten better with that because I was never on social media before this, before the fall, really. And I just, since I was always used to like a, 12-hour shift, like I'm not used to like trying to, and I feel like I have a lot of hats in this, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I need to figure out what's working, what's not working to make it easier too.
That's what we're
And
doing too
Yeah.
with this show is like I think it's important, and with my photography, when you start
yeah,
doing something, if it's not working, be prepared to like pivot and do something a little different if you need to, you know what I mean? Like be able to adjust until you kind of hit the groove and you feel like, okay, now I'm starting to see like an inflow of something or like more attention than before or whatever. It's like that's, and then just stick with it and build it.
I think the reason why it's so hard for me right now is because I'm still trying to make sure I'm okay. Cause that's, you know what I mean? Like with the whole like work situation, I just poured myself into work and I forgot about myself. Like I just now started like to get facials and massages and like tried to start relaxing to calm down my central nervous system.
Well, it definitely sounds like you're on the
So
right path because now you're going to go do Zumba too, and that's something you love and potentially getting paid for,
Yeah.
hopefully.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just got to make sure since I'm a vlogger, like, have a balance when it
Yeah.
comes to it. Like, what do I like? But I haven't really been filming that much. I only film like 2 videos, but editing has been, ooh,
It's time
I,
consuming.
Just make it. Yeah.
yeah. I Dude, it's crazy. I didn't realize like what it was like all entails like with making a video, and I have to be the voice of the video. I have to film myself. Like it's so much.
It's a lot.
And it is a lot. And like editing my like freaking ballroom dancing. It's like, okay, what turn am I going to put in this video? Like, you know what I mean? And what story am I going to tell? Like basically.
Yeah.
So,
Well, just don't put like, and with our podcast as well, like, I think if you spend too much time with it, it stops feeling like why you started doing it to begin with, which was to kind of like have fun. So it's
okay.
like at a certain point, don't be a perfectionist. Just finish it, send it out. Because nowadays, like having more content is better than like
Yeah.
perfect content all the time. So just like put it out, move on to the next thing. Don't stress about it,
Realize
Okay.
you're the one that's going to see anything slightly off
Yeah,
anyway,
nobody's
and nobody
gonna,
else is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know, and it's all different. Like I gotta give myself grace a little bit here, and like like it's all new to me still. Like technology is not usually my friend, so I was like, the IT was my best friend at work, but like, or I thought he was. He probably didn't think so, but he was mine. But yeah. But yeah, it's all a learning curve, like a learning process. But, I'm not giving up. I'm still going to do it. And I believe in my content. And that's the most important thing.
Then we're
So,
gonna we're gonna have to call it, I think. But I think we should check back in the future
Yep.
and can see
yeah.
that you're continuing and what progress you've made.
Yeah.
Hopefully we've all made super
We
great
can
progress.
all make progress on our
Right?
journeys.
You're our
I
first guest who
know.
wasn't like already a friend or family.
Yes.
Which
Oh, I feel
we,
honored. Thank
yeah.
you,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you. This
Yes.
went amazing. I couldn't have
Yeah.
planned it any better. So I'm thrilled that it turned out this well.
Oh, awesome. Thank you guys. It was so nice meeting you. Yeah, because
Nice to meet you too.
I was trying to find like videos of y'all interviewing other people, and I was just like, oh, I don't really see that much. But y'all's conversations are great. But
Yeah, it's usually what it is.
yeah, like I was just trying to get a feel for the podcast because I'm still
Of
new to
course,
this too. So, but this
yeah.
is my
And
first podcast, and y'all were amazing. Y'all made me feel so comfortable. So thank you.
you did a great
Well,
job as well.
Yeah, you're going to be the
Absolutely,
template going forward when we post up another thing to ask for more guests. We're going to be like, this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. All
Okay.
right, yeah. I need to get off because I got to go to a comedy show now.
Hey, good.
Okay,
That's awesome.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
laugh.
for my improv class. But anyways, all right, guys.
Have fun
Nice
with
meeting
that.
you
Thank you
guys.
so much for
All
coming
right.
on, and we'll look
Thank
forward to the
you.
next one.